Earlier this week, I uploaded an in-depth breakdown of what I believe are the 3 most controversial new changes in Halo Infinite. It's a long video, but a good one, and if you haven't seen it, I recommend you check it out. In the third part of the video, though, we talk about sprinting with the flag, which is a pretty big topic, and something I felt could stand alone as its own video. Also, thanks to my wonderful community in the comments, I recognize I made a mistake in that last breakdown, and I missed a couple other aspects to add to the discussion here. So today's video is on one hand a repost of the flag portion of the last video, but on the other it has extra details. There's extra footage in here. So if you saw my last video and all you want to see is the extra content, check the play bar. I've specifically cut out the extra content so you can just skip right to it. And if you haven't seen any of this, well, then I hope you enjoy this flag running breakdown. Once again, as always, if you like this content, you want to see more, hit like, hit sub. We managed to go from 25 to 27% of you who currently sub. So amazing work. Let's keep it up. Doing this boosts these videos and ensures we're well informed when we finally get to play this game.
Flag is ours. Please call us at your earliest.
Sprinting in general has been a controversial topic for over a decade, so it's not surprising that some people are a little skeptical about the idea of sprinting with the flag. But why would this be controversial? I think the biggest concern here is about whether something like this gives too much power to the player and whether it removes the need for important techniques like flag juggling. Flag juggling has been an important part of Halo's skill gap since the Golden Era. In case you're not aware, the concept is simple. Holding a flag in Halo slows down your top speed and makes you more vulnerable to gunfire. If you put that flag down, you'll move at top speed again. So the idea here is to throw the flag in front of you, walk to it, pick it up, throw it, and repeat the process to keep the flag off your hands and maintain your highest speed as long as possible. Back in the MLG days, pros would jump with the flag as well to throw it further. So they'd grab it, jump, toss, land, grab, jump, toss, and repeat that process. And the better they got, the more creative these runs got as well.
Flag recovered. Flag taken. Flag dropped. Flag taken. Flag taken. Flag dropped. Flag taken.
Flag juggling evolved to a whole new level in Halo 5 with the inclusion of sprint, slide, and thrust. The optimal strategy now was to sprint, slide, grab the flag while sliding, and then jump, toss. Sprint, slide, grab, jump, toss, and repeat the process while incorporating the thrust to move even faster. With little creativity, you could do some crazy high-speed runs in Halo 5 as well.
Center of attention.
But even if you master these techniques, it doesn't guarantee your success. And honestly, that's the beauty of Halo, is it's just a challenging game. This is my run, by the way. If you want to know why it actually failed, I break it down in detail in a different YouTube video. One of my favorite videos, so I highly recommend you check this out after you finish watching this one. So now that you're sort of up to speed on Halo's flag juggling legacy, is it a bad thing to suddenly be able to sprint while holding the flag? In my opinion, I think it's really only bad if holding the flag doesn't slow down your movement speed in any way and there's zero incentive to juggle. If holding the flag has no effect on movement speed and you can get around like normal, then this would hurt game balance in my opinion. Players would get away too easily with the flag, on top of the fact that you'd be killing a very entertaining, exciting skill gap that I don't want to see disappear. Now, we can't actually tell how much the speed difference is or if there is a speed difference while holding flag. The only clip I can think of to go on is this right here, where we can see that the speed sprinting with flag is definitely faster than base movement speed because this player turns around, and when he turns around, this flag carrier is much farther away. So you can see this player sprinting away is definitely moving faster than base movement speed. Hold up, I need to double back on that. I missed this clip, which also showcases base movement without flag versus sprinting with flag. And in this clip, the speeds look nearly identical. It's hard to tell if one is faster than the other because it cuts off so early, but they're basically the same, which tells me that holding the flag does slow down movement speed, meaning a technique like flag juggling would be valuable, which in my opinion is good to see. But then why is it that in the previous clip, sprinting with the flag did seem faster than base movement speed? And shout out to one of my viewers in the comments, Toppy Games, said that maybe it's because moving backwards is actually slower than moving forwards in base movement speed, which is an interesting take, and we've never seen that in any Halo before, but thinking about it, I actually hope that's not the case, because if it was, then I think it would make sprinting and aggressive gameplay in combat too powerful. It's kind of the main reason why sprint still exists exists in Halo today. We know that sprinting allows you to move faster forward than your opponent can move backwards. This is valuable in combat because it allows you to mix up your timing to more quickly close the distance between yourself and your opponent and to make a fast, aggressive attack. And you do so at the risk of weapon and reticle preparedness and also audio cues. You make more noise when you're running. And let's say there was no sprint and base movement speed was faster forward than backwards. Then you'd basically be getting the advantages of sprint without any of the risks associated, which would make me question whether or not that benefits the careful balance of risk-reward in Halo's combat. Anyway, thank you, Toppy, for the comment. It made for a nice little sidebar. What I think is actually happening is it looks like this player is also strafing left and right as well, which I'm sure contributes, and we don't know if he's pegging that left stick backwards. He could just be tilting the stick and not moving backwards at full speed, but if you have any other thoughts on this, let me know in the comments. Now, we also don't know if you can slide while holding the flag, and we haven't seen much sliding in general, and I do think that sliding will have a big impact on map movement, but all I'm hoping for here is just a little difference in speed at the very least between holding a flag and not holding a flag. As long as there's a slight advantage to efficiently juggling a flag, then pro players will still use it and there will still be a skill gap. And honestly, a balance like this might actually improve the gameplay experience overall because it would lower the skill floor. Looking back at Halo 5, because you couldn't sprint with a flag, the difference in speed between a player who knew how to juggle and a player who didn't was pretty drastic, to the point where it could make the experience less approachable for new players. At least this way around, flag juggling is simpler and more streamlined, but if there's still a speed advantage to juggling, then the skill gap still remains, and you get like a nice blend of approachability and skill expression. Either way, we'll have to do a proper speed test when we finally get our hands on the game. That wasn't the only change, of course. You can see that it is now a two-handed flag hold versus the flagnum that was introduced in Halo 4 and 5, where you could shoot and carry the flag at the same time, which had its moments, but ultimately I like this change back. I think this will put a heavier weight on teamwork and strategy around the flag carrier and make the flag carrier a little less powerful, especially considering you can now sprint with the flag. Speaking of strategy, another aspect I didn't consider is how sprinting with the flag could affect player visibility. An important part of strategy in Halo CTF is knowing when and when not to stealth pull a flag. The moment you pull a flag in Halo, the enemy team is alerted that it happened, but they're not given your exact location until you either drop the flag or take damage from an opponent. So while a technique like flag juggling might get you across the map faster, if you don't juggle and instead just walk the flag carefully, there's a chance you can get across the map unseen and stealth cap it. And this is a big part of strategy. In a situation where the entire enemy team is committed to your base to cap your flag, but you manage to flank through to the other side, that's a great moment to stealth pull. And in some bigger maps like Halo 5 Coliseum, there's a lot of great routes where you can sneak the flag through and make some strategic plays. So my question here is, how would sprinting affect this? Should you be allowed to sprint with the flag without broadcasting your location? Or is that too much power for the carrier? Or maybe the moment you start sprinting is the moment you start broadcasting. But that can be kind of confusing unless they put like a notification on screen to let the player know that they're broadcasting their location while they're sprinting. Or maybe because sprinting with the flag kind of buffs flag running, do they just make it so that you're always broadcasting all the time when you have the flag? Which personally, I hope we don't see. I like the dynamic that stealth capping adds to the CTF formula, and I don't want to see it go, but I guess we won't really know what's going to happen here till we once again try it out. By the way, to everyone in the comments who doesn't like flag juggling because they find it annoying when the announcer says this:
Flag taken, flag dropped, flag dropped, flag dropped, flag stolen, flag taken.
Well, don't worry, I find that very annoying too. It was actually taken out of Halo in Halo 5, so there is no more flag dropped, flag taken from the announcer, and I guarantee we won't see that in Infinite.
Find our flag.
There's a couple other flag-related changes that I think might be controversial in the community, though this one is more of an observation than an actual confirmed mechanic. Shout out to Bring Halo Back. They're the ones who made me aware of this. But if you look at this moment with the flag here, frame by frame, it looks like it might be possible to carry the flag on your back in this game as well. The flag snaps onto his back for a brief second here before it actually swaps to his hands, which is very interesting. If so, it looks like this flag is taking the place of a secondary weapon and he swaps to the flag almost as if he's swapping weapons in this one moment. Now, I know this is still a pre-release game, so that could have been some kind of glitch, but in this footage as well, you can see a red glow on this player's AR and two red streaks on the top of the screen that look exactly the same as the red streaks that come off of the flag. So either there's a player running with him holding the flag, or the flag is on this player's back in this moment as well, which very interesting if true, and I'm not sure how I feel about this. I'm not sure how it affects flag juggling as well. Like, if you swap weapons, let's say you have one weapon, and when you swap to the flag, does that mean you can't flag juggle? Because normally you have to swap weapons to toss your flag. Or do you have to have two weapons to flag juggle now? So I don't know. This is a bit of a weird mechanic, and I'm not sure how I feel about it, but let me know what you think in the comments. Just wanted to quickly add that the reason for my skepticism here was we just talked about the flagnum being removed and how that takes power away from the carrier and reinforces team strategy, which seems like a step in the right direction. This idea, however, basically doubles down the opposite way. This player is not only using an AR, but he's throwing nades while having the flag on his back. Like, what's the extent of this? Can he use a rocket launcher with a flag on his back, or a sniper, right? So in my opinion, I feel like the flag carrier should be at a slight disadvantage to encourage more teamwork, more strategy in the moment that he's running the flag. There's one more thing I want to touch on, and this is another great topic of discussion, but it's this screenshot right here. I couldn't find this screenshot anywhere else online, and I think it was taken down from the Xbox website, but shout out to Mint Blitz, who posted this on Twitter, and he said you can grapple hook with objectives in Halo Infinite, ? Because this player is holding an oddball and grappling at the same time. Now, that's a pretty crazy change. Imagine using equipment and objectives at the same time. So grappling with the flag, or imagine throwing a flag or throwing the ball in the air and then just repulsing it to send it across the map. Like, it sounds crazy, and it sounds like it would impact balance in a big way. And shout out to Sketch as well, who commented here saying, hey, definitely don't read too much into this. Everything's still in flux. This is still a pre-release build, so we don't know if this is going to be possible in the final game, but I do think this is actually kind of interesting. Stuff like this, personally, I'm open to trying. I would like to try something like this and see how it works, see if it benefits gameplay in any way. I understand it could break gameplay, it could be horribly unbalanced, but at the same time, the idea of a pro team forming a strategy around a grapple hook flag play or a repulsor flag play sounds kind of neat to me and exciting, so I'm kind of open to the idea of trying it. However, something like this would need to be very well tested and completely ironed out before we actually see it in a tournament. It's an interesting topic of discussion nonetheless, though, so let me know what you think. Do you think that the ability to use equipment while holding objectives would add value to Halo Infinite's gameplay? And that's it for today's breakdown on just about all things flag related in Halo Infinite. One area we actually didn't touch on are the maps and how CTF might play on these new maps, and maybe that's a good discussion for another time. I also recognize that not everyone likes flag juggling, and as you can probably tell, I'm a pretty competitive mindset player. I enjoy the most competitive settings in Halo as long as they're well balanced, but not everybody agrees with that. So let me know what you think of the ideas brought up today, whether you like, dislike them. In the end of the day, good, intelligent discussion about the many nuances of Halo is really the only objective here. Speaking of what's next, be on the lookout because I'll be posting a poll on my YouTube. I want you guys to vote on the next big analysis topic that I cover. So I'll have a few options. The one with the most votes will be my next project. Seems like a fun way to do things. For now, though, I'm going to sign off. If you guys like this content, you know the drill. Make sure to hit sub. Check out related videos. I'll see you in the next one.